Have you ever felt buried in busy work, second guessing what to hand off, or wondering why growth still feels so darn heavy? Then this podcast is for you. Welcome to Delegate to Elevate. Get done, where real conversations help you lead smarter, delegate better, and take more off your plate. Here's your host, me, Bonnie Schutz.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Delegate to Elevate. Get done. I'm your host, Bonnie Schutz, and I am joined by a duo today, an awesome twosome, I would say. So today I'm joined by Bobbie and Mika, the mother-daughter duo behind Stories Office Bees. With a combined 60 years in office administration and operations, they've worn just about every behind-the-scenes hat. From the file clerk days, been there, before the internet, ops leadership, bookkeeping, IT support, data management, and software implementation. They launched Stories Office Bees on January 1st, 2024, after decades of building other people's businesses and deciding it was time to build their own. Together, they bring clarity and calm to your back office and keep your business humming like a bee. Because you did not start your business to spend your Friday night wrestling spreadsheets and muttering at your software or cursing out your software.
That one.
Yeah. Welcome, ladies. It's so nice to have some Colorado bred duos on my show.
Thanks for having us. We're really excited about this today. Thanks for having us, Bonnie.
Absolutely. Raise your hand and show us which one's Mika and which one's Bobbie. Mika?
I'm Mika.
That's
I'm
Bobbie.
Bobbie.
Nice to meet you guys. Bobbie, we've met, but for everybody else. So,
Nice to meet you all.
Thank you. Whichever one of you like to take the wheel here and tell me a little bit more about how your business evolved and from all this experience and back in the day.
Whoa. It's such a story. I mean, really, we've worked together multiple times over the years. Mika actually started working in my offices when she was about 8 or 9. So she started learning like basic filing and office things like that.
And
early
really
on.
real estate comparisons.
Fun.
Some definite real estate exposure in there as well. And we've worked together multiple times over the years. Oh my gosh, I am so sorry.
It's okay. That's okay.
I totally forgot to turn that to silent.
Didn't even hear.
And in the construction industry, and as women in the construction industry, it can be kind of bigoted, I guess is not a bad word.
Yeah.
So you learn a lot of strength and a lot of skill, but we decided in the end that it was just time for us. We kept working for the patriarchy and decided it was time to step out and do what we know how to do.
I love that. And that's a lot of stuff. And you each have your own kind of silos, like where you work. Tell me about that a little bit.
Well, so we each have a little bit of specialties. I am the hand me your books, let me do your bookkeeping, let me get in there, figure out what hasn't been done right previously. Once I've done all the cleanup, I'm going to hand it off to Bobbie, and then she's going to do things like help train on making sure that the front end data entry is done correctly, in part so that you don't have to pay us so much to go clean it up, and in part because data entry done properly gives you the information you need on that back end. The reports come out better. They actually give you correct information that'll help a business go forward.
Love it.
Also, though, it relieves so much stress and so much worry from your daily life as a business owner if you just know where your money is and you know that the work is done and it's done properly and you're not always having to struggle, right? To get through all the puzzles, because the puzzles they take care of themselves now.
Nice.
And then let's see, I also, I specialize in difficult customer communications, writing emails to work out, you and your customer have just reached a point where they don't want to hear your voice or you don't want to hear their voice or wherever it's at in there. We'll step in and mediate that particular negotiation and trying to make sure that everybody has a good conclusion there. That's kind of one of my specialties.
Nice.
And then Bobbie does software. All the software things.
Sure. Nice. The best part of working together and like, what's the hardest part?
What's the hardest?
The best and the hardest part of working together. as a mother-daughter duo?
So I know this is going to be like a lot of people might take this as cliche or just like a really pat
Mhm.
answer or whatever, but I don't find anything hard about working
Mhm.
with Micah. So that is a part of what really makes our relationship work. Sometimes she makes me work too hard because I'm in a mode of kind of maybe wanting to slow down a little bit, which is
Yeah.
was another motivation
Yeah.
for building the business. But she's like, no, 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 we have to do this. We have, or more often she'll just be like, yeah, I'm working, tick, 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 tick.
Yeah.
And then I feel bad. So
Sure.
I then have to, so then I have to work too.
No,
But
get
there's
that.
nothing hard about working
Oh,
with Micah.
I
You
love
know,
that.
my previous partnership was with my dad, and
Mhm.
we did not communicate well.
Mm.
When we reached those burnout points and those points where we were having a hard time and we needed to ask, hey, can you make this phone call for me? We weren't communicating well. We never communicated well, but Bobbie and I, we communicate those things when one or the other of us is really struggling, or one of the other of us is like, hey, I am motivated, let's do things. We
It's
shift
better
that
cheerleader.
balance of what
Yeah,
needs to get done.
right. That's
Just
awesome.
have those times though, if I just can't today.
I feel you, my
And
sister.
so Micah's always there when I
Mhm.
have those days,
I
and
tried to
I
get. I
am
have two
there when
daughters.
she
Vice
has
versa.
hers.
Two daughters I could never get into my business for some reason. They just didn't want to do it. So you are super lucky, I'd say. Um,
It takes a lot of customer service, and as much as you can like teach people to say the right things,
mhm.
if you're not an of service human, if you don't have a desire to be of service to other people,
Right.
that's not really something that you can teach. And trying to learn it comes across as kind of painful for the people that I've worked with that are trying to figure it out.
Sure. Yeah. That's why
You
you
know?
get somebody like you to do it for them. They don't
Yep.
even have to do it. Delegate that stuff. So,
Yeah,
talking.
Delegate.
that's one of those things. A lot of business owners are type A, very focused
Yes.
personalities.
Yes.
So one of the things they do delegate is, hey, can you help me remember to like send appreciation
Mm.
baskets to
Yeah.
my employees and my vendors?
We touched on that a little before we hit record today. Bobbie and I did, like the CRS disease that we have, as we're getting a little, I don't like saying old, as we're progressing in life. To have that accountability partner is huge for an
It
entrepreneur.
is.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
I know I can forget what I had for breakfast, let alone important client stuff.
I'm a prolific note taker when I need to be.
Ooh.
When I know that I need to remember A, B, C, and to really like not tomorrow or next week or something, but like today, I need to remember them today. Then I will have a note, a to-do
Yep.
list that sort of keeps me on track as well. But
Sure.
you're right, becoming women of a particular age.
Yeah.
That's a really wordy way to say it, but we do need to take a few more steps to make sure that we're on track, not just for ourselves, but for our partners and for our clients.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, I love that. So I'm going to pivot a little bit from your personal
Okay.
stories into what you actually do. So one thing that I'm pretty familiar with, but maybe the audience needs a little reminder. What is the difference in your opinions between admin and operations?
You
Mhm.
want to go first? Or want me to go first?
Yeah, no, I'll go first. Admin is admin is the actual doing of the tasks.
Okay.
It is the filing, the data entry, the bookkeeping,
The returning the customer's phone call.
the
Yeah.
customer service. The operations, though, the operations is the how.
Mm.
The how does the company work? How does my job affect your job, which also affects this job over here? And how does it all tie together and make it run?
Nice.
Mhm.
It's the engine. Yeah. Yeah. It's not the
Yeah,
tire and the windows and the frame. It's the engine. Yeah.
that's the admin.
I love it. Okay. So let's see. So that's the kind of the difference. What requires sound admin on the surface, but are really ops problems underneath? So if someone's saying I need admin support, are you okay with kind of correcting them and say that's more operations? Is that something that you ever encounter much of? When people like just really get stuck, like I need a secretary, and then they ask you to do project management or something like that.
Yes. So a lot of people who have never worked in an office, who have never had to do any kind of data entry and maintenance and customer service, have vague ideas of what people in those positions do, of what they should do. Even now, I'm sure you can attest, Bonnie, a lot of people tell you niche down. You need to tell people exactly what you do. You need to tell people you guys are bookkeepers. But I'm not a bookkeeper,
Right.
because in order to be an administrative assistant or administrative manager or anything like that, you have to have your fingers in all the different little pies.
Yes.
So coming at it from an operations standpoint, as I've gotten older, I turned 40 this year.
The buzz you.
Um, being able to see it from that higher level, you start seeing that, yeah, the problem is customer service isn't good, but it's not actually that the customer service isn't good. It's that the SOP for the follow through on the customer service, it's just not really there. So nobody's doing the same thing. So your customers are all getting kind of different experiences.
Yeah.
So it comes from an operation. Hey, you really need somebody, you need an office manager in here making sure all of these little things get pulled together, because while everybody looks at the office manager and goes, that office manager is the person that has their fingers in all the different little pies and pulls your different departments together and can give that information up to higher operations management of like, hey, I saw all of this kind of things. You might want to rope those together somehow.
Right. So when seeking support, if someone's out there looking, and they really kind of have to know the difference of what they want and be able to explain that to whoever they're asking to support them, and whether it's operational, administrative. So you agree, I assume.
Well,
They know what they want, maybe.
actually, we come at it a little bit different, actually, as a team. And it even says so on our website. You don't know what you don't know what you need from us? Give us a call. Let's have a talk.
Love that.
Maybe
That
you
is
don't
amazing.
need anything, but maybe in
Yeah.
having honest conversation about your company, where you're at and where you want to go, having that honest conversation can lead you to a little bit of clarity. And maybe then you're like, oh, wait, I could really use some help with this thing.
And
Yeah.
sometimes it's not us. Sometimes
Right.
we meet with a
Sure.
client, we do an hour free consultation, we get through the thing and we're like, hey, so anything that we could help you with, you're doing great. You've got it all in line. However, it's kind of sounding like you're wanting to scale. Here are a couple of different companies that we work with who specialize in scaling, because once you hit about $2.5 million a year in business, you're reaching past where we want to be
Sure.
working with the company, and you're getting into those bigger operations and where you're wanting to have people actually fill those roles of your COO and your CFO and things like that. And we hope that for our clients,
Absolutely.
we go into our business agreements knowing that, hey, it's really nice to have a solopreneur who never wants to grow. That's lovely. But
Sure.
a lot of our clients want to get bigger. They just need us for a little while. We're a stopgap between
Okay.
it's just you and a team of 6. We're that person that just helps that leap. And then later on, I'm happy to keep doing your email. I'd love to keep doing
Right.
personal assistant-y things. But as you want to hit that $5 million mark, we're going to refer you over to somebody who specializes in that growth.
But we're not a stopgap. We're a leaping pad.
Oh, I like that better.
That's a mic drop. Yes, the leaping pad. I love that service.
Yeah.
No, that is awesome, because I do know of a lot of entrepreneurs that kind of get stuck in between. When can I leap? When can I hire somebody? When should a contractor come on board? Either way. So that's a great service that you guys offer, and I'm going to make sure people get the link to your services, even if just for that console call. That's amazing, because sometimes we just don't know what we need. So in
most
that,
of the time.
Yeah, exactly. So why do you think that sometimes smart, capable people still avoid delegating?
Oh,
Okay.
Number one,
ownership of their company and their time. That's really important. I think to most people, is that they get to claim ownership of what they work so hard for. And I think people are afraid maybe of letting go of a little bit of that
Yeah.
means
control.
that it's no longer just theirs. But it is. It's still just yours. But you
Sure.
just can't do everything all the time and continue doing that and grow to whatever it is your vision is.
Right. And even if it's not even scaling and growth in your business, it's just getting your time back and your freedom to be with your family or go on
Well,
vacations or do those things, right?
well, and
Yes.
some of it is the knowledge to be able to train people how to do things.
Okay,
Um,
that's
you know,
important.
when you hire a good admin, it doesn't really matter what customer service software you use.
Sure.
Typically speaking, good admin needs a week or so to like get really familiar with your software, and then over the next year or so they'll come up with questions and they'll come up with like issues that happen in the software that they learn
Yeah.
about. But if you're hiring a really good admin, they should be able to learn that stuff pretty fast.
Sure. Yeah.
Learning the owner's voice, though, is
That's a fun one.
harder. As
Yeah.
an admin, being able to represent somebody else's vision, somebody else's company,
Speaking their voice. Yeah.
speaking their voice. So really being able to trust that who you're handing that off to is going to represent your company in the same way you've represented it and care about your customers as
Yeah.
much as you care about your customers, because it's
Hmm.
that important. That care of the customers is that important. And
Yeah.
when your staff doesn't care about your customers,
Yeah.
your reviews show it.
Oh, good. I know that's a stopgap right there is when you try to give up the power and the
Yes.
control and you have faith that you've trained somebody well enough and you've done your due diligence before bringing them on that they can get there. What is a good amount of time to realize whether a client is good fit for you and if they continue to give you back that reciprocal support?
I wouldn't necessarily say that there is a time frame to that.
Okay.
That's yeah, I don't think you can put a time frame to that. I think it has to be a combination of things that come together. Within a time frame, obviously, that works for the business owner. A year, 2 years, 3 years down the road, and you're still not clicking. What if you've let that go far too long?
Sure.
But coming to that point where you're like, yeah, we are really communicating well. Susan, we'll just call her Susan. Susan is doing a great job. She's picked up all of the software and she really talks to my customers in a way that I appreciate and that my customers appreciate. So it's all of these things that I think have to come together. And also there's clear indicators of when it's done. You don't trust the person. If you don't trust somebody, don't have them working for you, period.
Yeah.
Whatever the feeling is, if it's 3 days in or 3 minutes in.
Or 3 years, and if there's a reason that your trust is suddenly broken,
Yeah.
don't try to hold on to that.
No.
Don't
Yeah.
draw it out. It's not good for either side of that. And I mean, if you're speaking from our direction, us picking a client,
Yeah.
we usually know pretty fast if we don't mesh well with the client.
Mhm.
We both curse like sailors. I grew up in the
Well, we have a
construction
little
industry.
bomb here and there.
I literally grew up on job sites with a bunch of roughneck dudes
Dudes.
pulling wire, and
Nice.
my grandmother was a coal miner. I
Wow.
curse like a sailor. If that's not okay, then I totally get it. It's okay. That's not everybody's cup of tea, as it said. Um, it's harder for us to know um when we mesh really well with the personality of the person, but not so much with their business practices,
The
is
way
where
their
we
work
struggle.
flows. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
can take a little while to discover too, because well, excuse me,
Sure.
business owners want to generally portray themselves as really doing their job, really hustling all the time, and really knowing their industry.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that's a fake it till you make it, and that's okay because those people are generally working really hard to
Mm-hmm.
actually make it.
Sure.
But the people who are a little bit schemy and a little bit, maybe a little bit less ethical
Yeah. Sure.
than we are, it can take some time to uncover that in a client.
And for us, that integrity is really, really important. People trust us with, it doesn't sound like a big deal when somebody says, yeah, somebody takes care of my email.
Yeah.
My clients, I read every email, or Bobbie reads every email that comes through their accounts. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's very personal information. And we need our clients to be able to trust our integrity and our morality to make
Yeah.
sure that we're not. So we really do try to separate ourselves from clients who indicate that their business morals and ethics don't align with ours. Yeah.
Right. That makes total sense. Yeah. That's been always a difficult sell for me, is to get somebody to let somebody from my team in particular into an inbox. Do you get a lot of pushback in getting into inboxes by chance?
Not yet, not so far. A lot of the people who we do their email for, we have prior business relations and things with them. They know how we function and how we work.
Mm-hmm.
We are finding that people are uncomfortable with somebody managing their email because it can be so personal. For those people, all I have to say is I currently read somewhere between 300 and 2,000 emails a day.
Sure.
Rarely do I actually retain large portions of that information. My job is to sort and categorize and flag. And yeah, if there's something urgent, I might retain it because I had to send you a text message and be like, hey, you should get in and check this out. But other than that, by and large, we don't actually, I don't know if it's the right phrase. We don't really care what our clients are doing
Not
with
at all.
their world.
Yeah, no, we don't care. We don't. It's your life. Yeah.
We care about our clients. We care that our clients
About
are
making their
having a
lives
good
easier.
life and things are
Yeah.
going well. But what you're doing on a day-to-day basis,
That's
I don't really care. I just want to do my job.
I mean, obviously, there are lines that one does not cross, right?
sure.
Like the obvious ones. Aside from that, like
I
really,
had troubles in corporate back in the day getting my bosses as an executive assistant, the C-suite, to let me into their inboxes, which is way more common now in kind of this remote world. But yeah, it was always difficult. And I'm like, what you got on there, boss? I mean, I don't know what you got. Why won't you let me in there? I
you know
never
what I'm
understood.
going to say is, if you want me to manage your email correspondence, then you have to let me into your inbox, and you have to know that you can trust me.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to let you down on that, and you're not going to find anything weird going on.
Yeah.
But that's the only way that I can help you manage your email communication, is if
And I
I have
think it helps
access.
you understand their whole sphere of work that they're doing. Like, you've got a really good idea what they've got going on in their life and in their business. That way, it gives you so much insight to provide such an amazing service to them, because you really know, you can see what they're saying in their outgoing emails. You could learn that voice from being in that
Oh,
inbox,
you learn
right?
so much.
You
You
do.
do.
The way that people write emails is going to tell an administrative assistant a lot about how they are as a manager and how they are as a communicator and kind of what information they want. We do have one client who her emails, I continue to learn from her communication style. It's just beautiful.
My next question was like, can you tell me about any hot mess clients in your inboxes?
A lot.
Oh.
So inboxes, we do have one client that we met with who had, I don't know, did she have 15,000? Was that how many?
I think so.
She had 15,000 collective emails between
Oh,
folders and things, and like 500 actionable items in there. Not we're not talking spam. We're not talking junk crap emails. We're talking like she's wearing so many hats that the number of emails that she gets in a day, I was impressed by, which takes quite a lot at this point. I've worked in corporate America. I've been in emails for like 23 years now.
yeah.
Like, and that was a really fun project. We got to totally revamp the filing system and the categorization and flagging system
Did you
and
just
set a
take
whole
baby
bunch of
steps
auto
into
rules.
doing that? Did you take
What was
like
that?
one file at a time and take a baby step so that they were more comfortable and got to see how
Oh, no.
you
No,
process?
No.
nope.
Give me that inbox.
Straight in. We
Straight
dove
then.
straight in. We were like, we need to know one big thing. What can we not touch? What can
Yes,
we not move?
absolutely.
What needs to remain here no matter what? We go through, we find all of those emails first. We pin them, flag them, make sure that they're like, hey, pay attention to me. Then one of us, if it's that big of a project, typically one starts at the top and one starts at the bottom, and we start sorting after we've got the filing system set up, after we've got all the folder systems and the subfolder
Yeah.
systems set up and everything.
Oh, I love the dynamic duo-ness about that, or working in tandem like that, starting at the top and the bottom and meeting in the middle. Love it. That's a nice little takeaway today.
You know, we both get a bit of different perspective. She's a Gen Xer and I'm a millennial.
Yeah.
You're almost like
I'm almost a Gen X. I'm an elder millennial.
Gen Xer, yeah.
But even still, we do end up with different perspectives, you
Sure.
know, regarding even just filing systems and software, how
It's like a yin
software
and
is
yang
run.
thing, right? That works
What's
good.
that?
That's like a yin and yang thing.
it really is.
Come up with she can kind of thing.
Yep, we really try to bounce it off of each other, and that's part of why we like the duo that we are, because we have all of the different office experiences. I don't have a lot of IT work. I don't do a lot of IT work. I'm gonna go, hey, did you turn it off and turn it back on again? But you know, if it gets deeper than that, Bobbie can step in and help. And then once we get into like numbers and books and things like that, Bobbie does great bookkeeping, but sometimes she'll be like, okay, Micah, why is
I
this
don't
doing
know.
this? So that I can step in and do the deeper stuff. And then, you know, you have the added thing that a lot people get a little bit nervous about working with a family, because, you know, family business can be
Yeah.
tough.
Sure.
Volatile sometimes, but we really have been working together on and off 25 years prior to starting our business. And
Nice.
you know, if we need space, we don't have to be working in the same space. We can be working in separate offices. And
We don't always work in the same space, but some weeks we work the whole week together in the same space, and some weeks we just see each other 1 or 2 days.
kind of depends on how the schedule goes. It's very
Whatever
flexible.
works, right? That's
And
great.
you know, like we've discussed with you, instead of taking our niche and making us bookkeepers, we made our niche. We are
Admin,
flexibility and
operational admin.
we are
We're
operational
still trying
admin.
to
We're
figure
still
out
trying
how
to
to
say
say
it
it short.
Yeah, that's okay. I started my agency as a general firm and then just kind of sculpted that around what I have now. But so if somebody is looking to bring on an admin or ops support, how can they prepare before hiring you that to make it not so painful or scary?
Deciding the things they don't want to do.
Okay.
Okay, and making that solid decision that this is what I am going to do. I am hiring an admin. I'm hiring an admin for 2 hours a month just to help take some pressure off of me, or jump straight in and say, hey, I need somebody for 16 hours a month.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
to make that decision and stand by it, decisiveness is very important in delegation.
Yeah, you'd hope that most entrepreneurs could make those big decisions like that and know what they need and when they need it and how they need it and the type of person or persons that they're working with that they need. Sometimes it's a personality match, and you'll know right away when personalities don't vibe. But I love that. So a question I ask all my guests, and even you two, because even though you work together and you kind of cross delegate to your strengths, is there anything in your business that you've outsourced or brought anybody into it for you? Or you guys are just so good you do it all?
No.
Well,
I am intentionally ignorant of all federal income taxes for businesses, not because I don't know it. I spent 2.5 years in tax negotiation law firms. I intentionally have no interest. I don't want to do taxes. I don't want to do my taxes. I don't want to do somebody else's taxes. I hand that stuff off.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
What have we delegated? We are working on delegating our SEO.
Okay.
And that one, not because neither one of us wants to do it or knows how to do it, but because we find it to be a little bit cumbersome while we are focused so hard on client acquisition and client retention. I am super creative. I am an artist at heart, and sometimes it just sort of like buries my soul to be sitting at my desk doing bookkeeping when I really want to be in my studio working on a painting. So I really enjoy the creative side of the SEO and the social media, even the writing, like doing a blog. But they're just, my time is better focused on client acquisition and retention right now.
Yeah. Same with a lot of entrepreneurs. You are entrepreneurs, you're professional service providers. So uniquely, like me, we provide this service, but we also hire out and we have the overhead, the back end that we work on of our own businesses.
Yeah,
So
all of our own networking.
Yeah.
Taxes. I just finished our taxes yesterday.
nice. You want to do mine? No, that's funny because
We'll help you find an accountant to do your taxes.
Nope,
We
it
don't
might
have
take
one
me-
already, Bonnie.
Honestly, ours are pretty simple. Like we do also outsource our payroll. Even
Okay.
though it's just the two of
Sure.
us, we do outsource our payroll. We decided we did not like it involves way too many filing requirements.
Yeah.
And while we absolutely can do that for ourselves, we decided not. We really wanted to get paid on time
Yeah.
every month, and so it's easier to have somebody else do that.
The consensus of my guests is the number one thing that they delegate or outsource is taxes. Taxes or bookkeeping. So
the tax code in the United States is so complicated, and it's based on your address. Like your city, county, state taxes are all based on where you're at, and it gets even more complicated from there. And there's an encyclopedia of tax law for the United States, so I'd rather just pay somebody who actually knows that stuff.
Like to do it or knows how way better than I do. Or
I want somebody who finds that stuff fun to do my taxes for me.
That's not me.
Except I did our own taxes because
they were pretty easy this year.
Yeah, we're really small and it's just the two of us and we don't have a lot of nonsense with it. So
no, that's okay. I mean, I always say people that are entrepreneurs or small business owners that own their own company, you can dabble in any part of it, and if you like it, do it. If you don't, get somebody else to do it. That's that simple, right?
Yeah.
Obviously budgets are a concern at times, and it sounds like you offer pretty small packages of hours too.
We do.
We'll even just do hour by hour.
We have one client who does a 40-hour a month right now package. We really want to fill in that space of you just can't afford to hire someone part-time all the time. You don't want to afford to hire someone part-time all the time. You just need to get some stuff off your desk that needs to get done.
Yeah. So I guess my takeaway is there's service pros out there that can do these onesie twosies, I would call them, for an hourly rate. And if you just seek, you will find. There are people out there to do these things. You just got to do a little research and, maybe hire somebody like them to search for these people.
Right? Absolutely.
We'll even do project-based work. I mean, you just need somebody to revamp your filing system. We're happy to help you with that. You don't have to hire us for, a year-long contract. Let's talk project-based.
So for a deadline and a deliverable.
Yeah, we do offer clients who stick with us for a subscription for longer than a year a discount. Thank you for the loyalty.
That's nice. And I love that because so many service providers don't do that. But you need to. That's your customer service there, right?
One of the things I would like to plug, if at all possible, is that we do contractor licensing and permitting. We will pull permits. We will get inspections done. We negotiate with inspectors. We do all of the inside work that goes with any kind of contractor, subcontractor in Colorado for helping get that paperwork done.
Love it. That's great. No, I mean, my takeaway today is there's so many things that maybe you guys do that different individuals can do separately, but boy, it's out there. And if you just want it, you'll find it.
Absolutely.
And we have power partners there. We have a couple of duo groups that do what we do, just different industries, different offerings. So, if we don't mesh with a person for that first hour, we absolutely are going to say, hey, we didn't mesh well, but here's a couple other people to give a call. See if you'd like to work with them, because we really do want to support the community.
That's why we do what we do, to support the community and support the people who just need that little extra push, just need that little extra bit of help, whatever that means to our customers.
Done.
We're out here
just getting shit done.
Just getting shit done. We're out here to tailor our agreements to what works for you.
That's great. Oh my gosh, so much good stuff, ladies. If I was
Thank
to
you.
have you each give me one thing that our listeners can take away today as an actionable um, vibe, feeling, something that they can put to work right now and feel better about their delegation spectrum that they're on. If they keep wanting to delegate or they don't want to delegate, what can they do to feel better about it? If that makes sense.
It does.
Okay.
Okay. I'm just going to jump in. Commitment to your delegation is so important.
Okay.
As a professional delegatee, that's what we would call us, right?
Yes.
Um,
Yes, that's what I use. Yes.
I can only take care of you and your business if you allow me to do so. Don't delegate a task to me and then take it over for yourself. Especially don't do it and not tell me, because then
Yeah.
I am wasting my time. So commit to that delegation, that you are looking for that help. You are serious about having that help, and you are ready to say, do my email, do my tax prep, call the city for me, whatever it is that you need off your plate.
Nice. Commit and trust that person you're giving it
Commitment.
to
Yeah,
as your,
that trust thing's really important. Okay,
yeah.
so first of all, I recommend watching episode 4 of Delegate to Elevate. That's your 7 C's, which are all vital to delegating. And I know you wanted one thing, but they're all really important.
Thank you.
And then when you go to delegate, make that list. Make the list of things that you need to get off your desk. You want to get off your desk, or that's not getting done consistently enough, even though you like doing it. And find somebody to do those things. The things that you don't have a death grip on, the things that you don't love so much that it's really hard to have somebody else do it. Hand off this you hate. Find somebody you trust to do the things you don't like doing and hand those off first. And practice with that as your first delegation, because it's a lot easier to hand off things that you don't want to do.
Yeah, that's true. Make that a fact. It's harder when it's things you like. But
Absolutely.
even I've come to that realization that, yeah, I like dabbling in making Canva graphics, but is that really the best use of my time? Not so
And
much.
that's kind of what Bobbie said about doing the taxes, is doing the SEO stuff. We like doing that, but it's not the best use of our time. So we had to work up to that one.
Yeah.
We haven't even actually delegated it yet, but it is on our list.
We are.
Okay, have a list. That's a step. That's a step in the right direction. You made the list, and you guys even said that. Have a list of what is your, favorite place to be.
Yep.
No, that's great. No, thank you, ladies, so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you. I think what you offer is amazing. Of course, I'm a little biased. I may have an agency that does that too, but I love that.
We're probably a little biased about you too, though, Bonnie.
Probably.
You guys are truly working in tandem, and that has my heart, because I think that's a great thing to look for when you're finding a service provider. Maybe you need two,
maybe
sometimes,
maybe those two parts of the whole are really going to get you what you need. So keep on keeping on, everybody. Keep on delegating and keep on elevating your business and yourself, and get done. Take care, ladies.
It's done.
Yes, I love the in-sync. Talk to you later, everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye.
That's it for today's episode of Delegate to Elevate, Get Done. Be sure to follow or subscribe wherever you listen. And if this episode gave you a golden nugget or two, leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Your review may even be featured in a future D2E listener shout out. Head over to delegate2elevatepodcast.com. That's with the number 2, to grab Bonnie's free Delegate to Elevate growth roadmap. Explore past episodes and join us next time for more real conversations about getting done.